been 13 years since the last game, but Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 The Black Order has finally landed, though this one, unlike the previous games, is exclusive to the Switch.
The more mature tone of the previous Ultimate Alliance games has been softened here a bit for a more family-friendly vibe. This time around, you'll be hunting down the 6 Infinity Stones before a certain mad titan and his Black Order get their nasty little hands on them.
I shall be waiting here for you.
It's an A to Z of the Marvel Universe with locations and iconic villains ripped straight from its 80-year history.
Bullseye never misses.
I really enjoyed the Saturday morning cartoon-like cutscenes, seeing my favorite heroes trading quips and jokes.
Perimeter scans reveal no external threats to Avengers Tower.
Suddenly, less worried about external threats and more concerned about the ones in here.
Could the Infinity Stones be acting of their own accord?
Overall, though, I do think this lacks the strong story that previous Alliance games had.
Yeah, even as a comic book nut, I found this a little bit shallow, but the cutscenes are just the bread upon which sits the button-mashing brawler fillings. You'll be blasting and punching your way through waves of enemies with the usual light and heavy attacks. Picking a team of 4, you can switch between your heroes on the fly. Each character also has a set of 4 unique special moves that you'll gradually unlock through leveling up your heroes. And there's synergy attacks, which activates 2 characters' special moves together. And there's extreme attacks that are charged over time and can be unleashed individually or with other characters who are also charged.
Let me in on that action.
There's a lot of attacking.
And you'll be directing those attacks towards general baddies and mini-bosses. The simpler foes will go down with standard attacks, but mini-bosses will require you to take down their stagger bar to really land some heavy hits before it refills again. Big boss battles also pop up to offer a bit of a mechanical shake-up, with some character-specific attack patterns thrown into the mix.
Finally! The kind of power I've always dreamed of. Power worthy of Norman Osborn.
It's a simple rinse and repeat gameplay loop that does have some serious difficulty spikes every so often.
Does it ever? If you're not prepared enough with high-level characters, you'll be locked into a never-ending battle.
Not like this.
You can drop out of the fight and switch out some characters at shield checkpoints.
Are you sure? I'll give you a second to change your mind.
Oh, but wow, did I hit a few brick walls of frustration. Nintendo, I've come to bargain.
Yeah, and the graphics performance certainly doesn't help in those rage-induced moments. The more that's happening on screen, the more the game seems to struggle to keep up. Sure, those big super moves are going to look cool, but be prepared. It'll probably be a big hit to the game's performance. It's hard enough to dodge attacks, let alone trying to do it with a stuttery frame rate. And this game was only designed to run on the Switch, so you think it'd be optimized.
When the visuals do settle, though, you'll be treated to a full cast of Marvel characters. There's a slew of fan favorites, along with a few more obscure ones. I don't know who Elsa Bloodstone is, but she looks really cool. New characters join your roster as the story progresses, strategically drip-fed throughout to keep you smashing and bashing till the campaigns close. Seeing their unique powers on screen for the first time was always a thrill.
Oh, it was so good. And if you're like me, you'll get some fun out of the minor RPG elements that are thrown into the mix. You'll be collecting credits, ISO 8, weird orby things, and leveling up your team as you complete battles. Credits and orbs go into boosting your team's stat trees and leveling up your hero's special moves, while ISO 8 crystals will help to boost specific stats on each hero. Ooh, I do love me a bit of micromanaging.
See, I'm not one to get deep into the world of stats in these sorts of games, mainly because I forget. You can also choose your heroes in an attempt to form a balanced team, with bonuses tied to specific lineups: Defenders, Avengers, Spider-Verse, and more. You can spend hours choosing the most powerful lineup, or you can pick your favorite characters and move on.
And really, micromanaging everything is more of a bonus. The brawler combat was more than enough for me. In addition to the main campaign, there's also Infinity Trials. You'll find tears in the universe throughout the map, each holding a trial. You can also just enter them through the main menu. These Infinity Trials offer up self-contained challenges, including timed and wave modes. They are super tricky, but do offer up hefty rewards, including skins, powerful crystals, and even some additional characters.
I found this to be a good place to grind and level up my team for the main campaign. But now is a good time to mention that your AI teammates are great at attacking, but less so at dodging. Wouldn't you agree?
How? Why?
In higher difficulty battles, you'll be spending half your time reviving them. They seem to miss even the most telegraphed attacks from enemies. Those pesky AI, they have no idea the type of pain I could bring them.
But it's important to try and stay calm and collected until you get into the multiplayer. Now, we didn't try online co-op, but we did try local, and oh dear. Every minor complaint we might have had originally gets tripled. The screen getting occasionally messy and hard to keep track of? Try watching what is basically 3 consistent smoke screens of pixels. The tiny coloured circles are barely enough to signify who's controlling who. And if you're using Joy-Cons, clicking in the analog stick will have you accidentally flip to another character. It's chaos.
And on top of that comes the game's greatest villain, its camera. You're bad too. It gets stuck on invisible walls, loses track of gameplay, and generally just freaks out. It has no idea what to do with extra players, generally just ignoring their location and forcing them to stay within player one's view. In an online setting, you'd of course have control of your own camera view, but this is a game exclusive to a console that's designed for local play. It's so strange. But we should wrap this up. Rad, what'd you think?
Well, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is almost as good as the original titles. It brings back a lot of the elements we know and love, but adds very little that's special or new. I still had plenty of hours of fun with this. I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Despite often feeling a bit too much like a free-to-play mobile game, the simple beat-em-up gameplay and Marvel charm is almost enough for me. Even if it feels a little rough around the edges, it's 3 rubber chickens for me. How about you, Will?
I think I would have loved this even more than you guys if the solid gameplay had been driven by the strong story rather than the other way around. My comic book heart just wanted a little bit more nerdy lore. In saying that, it's still a 3 out of 5 rubber chickens for me.
Oh, great. We saved the universe from disaster, but we're the ones that end up in prison?